fuel hike. We're now joined on the line by Automobile Association spokesperson, Mr. Layton Beard. A very good morning to you, Layton. Always good to have you with us in studio. Essentially, what is the cause of this latest fuel hike?
Yeah, good to be with you too. I'm sure your listeners aren't as thrilled to hear me on the line with the news that I have. But yes, I mean, we are going to have a petrol increase, and the reasoning behind this is a pretty steep increase in the international petroleum product prices. Combined with a weakening rand, which means that the value of the currency we have to actually buy this more expensive product has diminished. And because of those two factors that have combined to give us this problematic situation, we are going to experience the increase come midnight tonight.
What are some of the ways that the South African government can actually deal with the ever-increasing fuel price?
Yeah, it's a tough question to answer, and I get asked it a lot because I think a lot of people are looking at government saying that they need to do more to keep this price down. In terms of the international product that we buy, obviously that is something that is available on the open market, and the price is the price that we pay. When the rand is at a lower level against the US dollar, it just means that our buying power is diminished. So in terms of those two factors, which really are driven by geopolitical developments, it's very difficult to say the government has any wiggle room. Certainly in terms of the rand and the US dollar, we would like to see the rand strengthen, and the ways in which that can happen are obviously political certainty in the country, a climate of investor friendliness in the country, economic policy certainty in the country. So those factors are within the government's control. This issue of the levies is also something that is raised from time to time, where people say that the levies, which comprise around 40% of every litre of fuel, are simply just too high. I think the government may have some wiggle room there. I think the problem that it's faced with is that if it doesn't collect that revenue through those mechanisms, where else is it going to source that revenue from, which accounts for anything from 120 to 150 billion rand per annum. So it's not an easy thing for government to manage. We know that they have got some plans on the table for fuel regulation. We eagerly are awaiting the release of those details.
Now, speaking to those issues of political certainty as well as stability, we do know that our elections are just a couple of days away. Can we then rule out a possibility of a future fuel hike, at least for the near future?
Yeah, it's very difficult. I mean, you know, first of all, government sets the fuel price based on the current market trends and what it pays for that fuel to get into the country. Obviously, if there's political certainty, that will affect the rand, and I think at the end of the day, that will obviously have an impact on the fuel price. Whether the elections are necessarily going to have an impact in terms of what the immediate feeling is, it may have an impact on the rand going forward, but that's a wait-and-see thing. To determine what's going to happen with the fuel price on a monthly basis is extremely difficult, and I mean, I can tell you what's going to happen with the rand in 2 weeks' time, and because that's a big factor in determining the fuel price, it makes speculating what's going to happen in a month or 2 months' time extremely difficult.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning, Layton Beard from the Automobile Association, as the petrol pumps are going to increase yet again come midnight this evening.